today's video, we're going to build an awesome and unique, emphasis on unique, 6-piece watch collection. There are two requirements. Number one, all watches have to be Swiss made. Number two, all watches have to be at or under $1,000. The first watch we're going to choose for the collection is a GMT for all of our traveling needs. Surprisingly, there are quite a few different options under $1,000. I could have gone for a Glycine Combat Sub GMT, but I did mention that watch in a few other videos before, so instead I decided to go with something a little bit more unique and in a lot of ways cooler, MIDO MULTIFORT GMT. Now there are a couple of different versions of this watch. The one that I like best is the one with the internal rotating bezel. It's a super unique watch with a cool design, and I can almost guarantee that you will go your whole life with this watch on your wrist without seeing another person with the same watch. You can find them on Joma Shop, you can find them online for around 700 USD, which is hell of a deal for the specs that you get. The case and the bracelet are both made out of stainless steel. It has a 42mm diameter, but it's only 10.3mm thick, so it should sit really nice and flush to your wrist. It has a sapphire sandwich, and this one here is powered by the MIDO caliber 1153 automatic GMT movement, which is essentially an ETA 2893-2. You of course have the quality and the powerhouse of Swatch Group behind you when you buy a MIDO watch. Really cool, really unique, and again, something that you will not find in a lot of collections, and it's only 700 bucks. Next up is a diver watch. Now for this one, their options are pretty much endless. There's so many different Swiss made diver watches. You could have gone with the mainstream brand, you can go with a micro brand, you can go with vintage reissue brand. I decided to go for something with a lot of heritage, a lot of quality, and a brand name behind it. We're talking about ORIS Divers 65. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, hey Oleg, I don't think you can get a brand new ORIS Diver 65 for under $1,000. You can't get a brand new one, but you can get a lightly used one on eBay for under $1,000 on a stainless steel bracelet. A couple of things that I really like about this watch. First of all, you have your choice of either 40mm or 42mm case diameter, depending on your preference and your wrist size. The watch has only 100 meters of water resistance, which is kind of funny because our GMT watch has 200 meters, this one has only 100, but for your lifestyle, if you're not a serious diver, 100 meters should be totally enough because it comes from ORIS. It's not like a Chinese special that says 100 meters of water resistance. This one, when it says 100 meters, you can be sure you can do some surface diving, maybe some light scuba diving with 100 meters, no problem. It also looks really cool. I love those vintage inspired diver timepieces, and ORIS just did it right. It has a domed sapphire crystal which gives cool distortion angles, aluminum bezel insert. You can have the watch on a stainless steel bracelet or on a Tropic rubber strap. Both options are super comfortable, and the watch is powered by the Sellita SW200 movement, which is regulated. A lot to like about this timepiece, and if you go with the lightly used version, you will probably still have some warranty remaining. It's a no-brainer under $1,000. The next watch we'll need for our collection is a chronograph. Here I went with a Hamilton Pilot Aviation. Hamilton is another Swatch Group powerhouse brand. There are so many different models to choose from, but I went with this Pilot one because I think it looks really cool on that supplied NATO strap. You can also find them on eBay, on Joma Shop, on Ashford for around $900. It's a hell of a deal, especially for an automatic chronograph. It's powered by the Valjoux 7730 movement. The case diameter is 41mm. It's about 47mm from lug to lug, so it should fit most wrists comfortably. However, keep in mind this one is quite thick at about 16mm because of that Valjoux automatic chronograph movement. So if I bought one of these watches, what I would do, I would change the strap from a NATO to something like a canvas strap or maybe a racing leather strap, something to reduce the overall height and improve comfort. The next watch we need to add to our hypothetical collection is an everyday sports model. And here I went with the most conventional choice probably, TISSOT Gentleman POWERMATIC 80. All the watches until now, and probably the other two watches that I chose for this collection, are all kind of out of the left field, a little bit more unconventional. This here is probably the most conventional choice, but it's here for a reason, because it's a fantastic watch. First of all, it has that POWERMATIC ETA movement, which has, of course, 80 hours of power reserve. The watch has fantastic finishes on the bracelet as well as on the case. It's a 40mm diameter case, so it will fit your wrist nice and comfortable. 11.5mm thick, 100 meters of water resistance, and it's a perfect everyday watch. You can wear it to the office, you wear it shopping, you wear it for your daily activities. If you get tired of the bracelet, you can easily switch it to a leather strap, and now you have a bit of a dressier timepiece. The other watch that I was actually debating to put on this list as a everyday sports timepiece was a TISSOT PRX POWERMATIC, but on the second thought, I didn't want to include any homage watches, even though that watch would be an excellent choice and would fit into this category just as well. I just wanted to go with something a little bit more unique with a unique style. So that's why this Gentleman POWERMATIC 80 is on the list. The next watch we'll need for our collection is, of course, a dress timepiece. This is a watch that you would wear if you had to go for a wedding, or if you had to wear a black suit, if you go to church, stuff like that. With this one, I went with a vintage watch. I know that vintage watches are a bit of a minefield, but this is my list. These are the watches that I truly believe fit each category perfectly. So here I went with the vintage Omega SEAMASTER. You can have a stainless steel case, you can have gold-plated case, or you can even have gold case. Probably gonna cost you over $1,000, but I've seen some under $1,000 as well. You can also have various different case sizes from 34 to 38 millimeters, different dial choices, different movement choices between automatic and hand wound. You can even have something like sub-seconds hand. There's so many different watches to choose from. There's certainly a watch that will fit your style and your personality. Now, since this is a dress watch, we don't really need it to have high water resistance. We don't really need this watch to be too tough. So going with something vintage totally makes sense. I could have gone with a new watch, something like a Law Jeans Heritage line, but it wouldn't really be my choice. My choice would be vintage Omega. They're just so cool, and when you have a vintage watch on your wrist, even if you don't have any personality, it just instantly makes you more interesting. So far we have a 5-piece collection. We have a GMT, a diver, a chronograph, an everyday sports watch, and a dress watch. What's missing? Of course, a beater watch. A watch that you would wear if you're working on your car, a watch that you would wear if you're doing chores around the house. The best rugged everyday beater watches in business are, of course, G-Shock watches. Since G-Shock is made in Japan and not in Switzerland, we have to go with a Swiss-made G-Shock, also known as Victorinox Swiss Army I.N.O.X watch. Now, there's quite a few different models from Victorinox that we could have chosen, and they're all fairly affordable. I went for this specific model because it has high water resistance of 200 meters. It has a great quartz movement, so it's going to be reliable and accurate, always ready to go as soon as you put it on your wrist. You can also have this watch on a stainless steel bracelet or on a variety of different straps. It's very lightweight, so it's not going to get in the way if you're working on your car or something like that. It also has a scratch resistant sapphire crystal, and best of all, it's a fairly affordable watch, and you can buy them on Amazon all day long. So even if you do damage this watch, it's not a big deal because it's an affordable beater. That's it. Those were our picks for a 6-piece Swiss-made watch collection where each watch is under $1,000. Now, I know not every collection needs to have watches in each one of these categories. Like, for example, you don't need to have a GMT watch in your collection. I just thought it would be more fun and interesting to create these categories and give you my suggestions for awesome watches in each one of the categories. Leave a comment in the comment section below with your picks for each one of the categories. We always love reading your comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. There are new videos every week. Thank you for watching this one. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you had fun, and we'll see you next time.